Well, coming off a tough victory, we're pretty happy about winning that game because I think I told you last week that they were going to be that kind of team and going to be a tough win for us. But the worst part of the situation is we lost a couple players to injury. How quick they'll be back, nobody knows for sure. So we're getting younger and younger as the season goes along, which makes it harder to win.
Speaking to Juwan, I know you talked about the 4-year or 4-game kind of redshirt thing. I mean,
that's only for freshmen.
Only for okay.
Yeah, it's only for freshmen.
So how does that work with him?
You can when it's in the first third of the season, you can appeal for a hardship. So there would be a chance that he would get another redshirt year. Now that's a long time between you don't even apply for it until the season's over, when you have the full year done, where you know if he didn't play anymore or not. He might play by the end of the season. Hopefully he will.
Rocky, what's the update on him, and does Juwan need any type of surgical procedure?
No, there's a crack in his clavicle somewhere. It wasn't too bad. It's still attached, so they think it'll heal in 6 weeks on its own.
Last week here you said that when you asked John Barron whether he thinks you can make a field goal and you trust him, did you have to ask him for the last 2 field goals?
No, didn't have to ask him at all. They just started trotting out there before I said anything. Now, obviously, in overtime, we worked it out so that we knew he was going to kick a field goal. But the other one, when it was, I think, a 50-yarder, he just I looked at him, and he just started trotting out on the field.
Rocky, what's the pecking order behind Chase now at running back?
There is no pecking order yet. We've got a little bit of time to figure out who's going to be the best or the second guy in, and we'll use this week and next week to figure that out. So there's nobody that has been given the backup role yet, except Chase won't get hit as much in practice as he used to.
Can you talk a little bit about the main candidates for that and what each of them would bring?
Well, you got Kagan Williams, got Chance Bell, you got Jordan Bird, you got Zidane Thomas. Two of them we've actually seen in practice. I mean, during spring ball, and the other two are true freshmen. So other than what they did in fall camp, we don't know exactly what we're getting, but we really don't with Kagan or Chance either.
What do you look for in those guys? Like what in a backup rank,
Well, the guys that make the fewer mistakes in practice are going to be the guys that get the first chance. And you can kind of tell. Now, we've had Jordan Bird and Zidane Thomas down with us on the defensive side with on the scout team, and you know how well they read a hole. You know how tough they are when they run through a hole and all that kind of stuff. But Chance Bell and Kagan Williams were down there last year, so we know that about them too.
That's kind of where that new rule could come into play with your true freshman running backs. There's no strategy for it yet, but where you could use those guys for a couple games till.
Yeah, Jordan Bird has already played in every game, so his 4-game window is basically up. If we play him again, it's up. Zidane Thomas hadn't played at all in a game yet, so there might be some consideration there that would keep him out of the mix. Yeah.
Rocky, people evaluate your secondary. When this whole thing started, you were really worried about the safeties. And does this bye week come at the right time in terms of reps and reps and reps routines before you go face Ripien and Boise?
I don't. I think they're getting a little bit better. I don't think the bye week's going to help them any. I mean, it's the same as getting ready to play a game. We're going against a scout team, and the scout team doesn't give you near the look that you get in when it comes to game time.
For this week, I know you've been one. I've seen you at the high school games. Do you have you planned your high school game that you're going to go to this week, or what do you do with this week on, I guess, on the Friday night?
Well, here locally, all our coaches are going out in the morning and they're getting back in time for meetings and for practice. Thursday's our last practice. After practice on Thursday, several of our coaches will fly out to different areas of the country and be there on Friday and Saturday and watch games and get back on Sunday. A couple of coaches will be here in town going to games on Friday and Saturday. I haven't decided if I'm going out to a game or not yet, and I haven't really looked to see what the big matchups are yet either. But our coaches starting Thursday, I mean, they're out already in the mornings locally, going by the high school and talking to the high school coaches and all that. And then as Thursday night, all 10 coaches will be out somewhere for 2 days in recruiting.
Can you speak to the, I'm not going to mention names, but to kids committing early and then decommitting from, you know, what's your feeling, I guess, on the,
well, that's just that's just the way it is now. It's been like that for maybe the last 5 to 10 years. It's been like that.
What's your feeling on that?
Well, I mean, way back when I first started, when a kid committed, he stayed committed until he signed. In a school, when you had a committed kid, you saved a scholarship for him until he signed. In the last 10 years or so, that's not been the case on both sides. There's schools that have been dropped. They have dropped kids that had committed to them that they promised scholarships to. They drop them and don't sign them. And then now there's a lot of kids that will commit just as an insurance policy and keep getting recruited and keep taking trips and all that to see if they like any place better. I don't think it's good, but that's just the way it is. So you don't worry about it and you live with the way it is.
Do you feel that's tough because, you know, let's say a Pac-12 team comes in and, you know, you give a kid a scholarship and then they recruit your kid? I mean, is that tough as a coach, just knowing that you're kind of up against the Big Five kind of thing?
No, I think since it's been going on for so long, it's just part of the game. And you don't, it's like other things you can't control. You don't worry about it.
Back to the running game for a second. How helpful is it to have a confident fullback and competent fullback like Isaac back there? How much does that help?
Well, that helps, but he's hurt right now too. And so we don't know how, now it's a positive report on him, but we don't know how quick he'll be back either. So I told you we got a whole bunch of guys beat up. Now we might get one back. Noble Hall might be back for the Boise game. But other than him, I mean, we've lost some starting players that are standing on the sidelines and watching. So if you lose your starting tailback and your starting fullback, I would say that makes it much harder to run the ball. Or you're guessing that the guys coming in can do it, but they haven't proved they can do it yet.
How much is that going to change your offense?
Oh, I don't think it's going to change our offense. We do what we do, and then we're going to try to say next man up, and hopefully those guys will perform well too.
Can you talk about Agnew, how he's accepted the challenge and what he's done?
Well, I think he's played well. I think coming in as the backup, you hope that they play like he has played to this point. I mean, it's a very similar situation as Christian Chapman when he took over. When he had to take over, he came in and played really well too. So that's a sign that our coaches are doing a good job of recruiting and a good job of coaching, because you don't go in, if you don't have some kind of talent, you probably shouldn't have been recruited. Obviously, he has the talent to play the position. And if you haven't been coached very well, when you get your chance, you don't play very well. So he's played pretty well, so you got to give the coaches a pat on the back for that too. But part of that's Ryan's personality. He was ready. He was ready to have his turn. And so far, he's played well.
Do you take a break, I guess, as a coach for, I guess, this bye week? Or, you know, because a lot of the kids, I'm sure a lot of your guys are just happy that it's not, you know, full on, you know, football, you know, Monday through.
Well, it's just like a regular week for us, Monday through Thursday. And then our players will get Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off for it, so it's nice for them. But once we get into the season, coaches work anywhere from 12 to 16 hours a day, and it doesn't change just because it's a bye week. They'll be out doing recruiting. Instead of sitting in watching film, they'll be out recruiting. So until the season's over, it doesn't change for a coach. Now, our players, I'm sure they're happy about getting a couple of days off. I bet you they're really happy about it.
What about Saturday, since there's no game? What will the coaches be doing then, and what would you be doing that day?
With no games,
Yeah, with no game on Saturday.
they're going out and recruiting.
Like for you, what would you spend your day doing? Anything in particular?
I'll be in here watching film. I'll probably go to a game Saturday night. I'll probably go to a game.
A JUCO game, I guess, because they play on Saturday.
Yeah, a local game. I don't know where yet.
Rocky, how valuable is it to have all this extra time to scout, prepare against Boise?
I don't think it makes a darn bit of difference. I don't. We're not using this week to prepare for Boise anyway. We're using this week to try to get all our young guys more up to speed so we don't make as many mistakes when we actually play a game. We won't get into Boise prep until Monday. So we're not doing anything as far as Boise's concerned this week.
Anything else for Coach?
I have one other question. This month of September, college football seems to have created a crisis issue. Week by week, we're seeing quarterbacks, players leaving programs in week 3 or 4 saying I'm transferring immediately. I think the NCAA has created a bit of a mess now with this transfer rule.
Well, I think that there's some issues on both sides. And I think anytime there's issue on both sides and you try to make both sides happy, I think you're going to have problems. I mean, the push now is that the players should have more control of what they can do and can't do. So they're making the rules so that a player has more options that he didn't used to. You used to not be able to transfer right away and all that. So they're giving them more options. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but it makes it a lot more, I don't know, insecure. Your team is a lot more insecure because if a kid doesn't play, he might leave you the next day.
Are you worried about that as a coach?
Here we go again. I guess it's my age. If you can't control it, why worry about it? And I can't control that. Just like I can't control a lot of things, so I don't worry about things I can't control.
You look around the rest of the Mountain West, have any teams jumped out at you as either a surprise or not what you might have expected?
No, I think Boise's as good as everybody thought they were going to be. I guess there's 2 teams that weren't very good last year, and I think they're pretty good right now, Utah State and Hawaii. And then Nevada's scoring a ton of points. So I think that those might be surprises before I don't think anybody thought that before the season started.
Rocky, you mentioned Nevada scoring a ton of points, and some of the other teams are too. And your game is more ball control than quick scores, large scores. So you feel that for the first 4 weeks, your players have done a good job in terms of ball control?
I think in one game in particular, our offense really helped win the game because they kept the ball, and that was Arizona State. In the other games, that hasn't necessarily been the case. The time of possession has been fairly equal. I think we're ahead. We were ahead in time of possession, but the time of possession was fairly equal. It was not in the Arizona State game. We had the ball a lot longer than they did. So that helped us win the game. Our style of play should help you try to win the game. We actually go into a huddle and break out of a huddle and all those kind of things, which should run some time on the clock, but you also have to get first downs to keep the ball. So that's the idea that they're not, those explosive offenses aren't out there as much as they are against some people. And then that helps us win games.
with the time frame of Juwan being out 6 weeks, would that be to return to actually practice or be ready to play in a game?
No, that would be to play in a game. That's their estimate that he could play in a game 6 weeks from now. Those are all estimates. Everything's an estimate.
Those guys tend to heal quicker than the rest of us.
Well, if you ask Juwan, I asked him, he's going to be playing in 4 weeks, if you ask Juwan. So I told him positive attitude makes you heal faster, right? Isn't that what people think? If you have a positive attitude, you heal faster. So I hope he's right.
Maybe you should say 2.
Maybe.